Under Plum Lake by Lionel Davidson. 5. Through the Face. There were 5 steps, very steep, in something like a manhole. I went slowly down, shining the flashlight. The opening was narrow and irregular, but as I went lower, it widened. At the bottom, it was very wide. It was a room. It was square. It was cut in the rock. I shone the flashlight round. The walls were regular, the roof and floor regular. All regular. It was very neat, as if it had just been swept. There was a hole in one wall like a doorway. The breeze was coming through it. It was coming from a tunnel that I could see sloping sharply away. I bent and went in the tunnel and started shuffling cautiously down it. The breeze was stronger in the tunnel, and I could hear it. It was a husky sound, like someone blowing a bottle. I could feel it plucking at my clothes. I'd gone in about 20 feet when I saw the gun. It was lying by a wall. I knew right away it was old. But when I bent and picked it up, I saw, from the bugle-shaped end, that it was hundreds of years old. It had lain here for centuries. It gave me a strange feeling suddenly. It gave me a feeling I was in a tomb. I wondered if it were true, or if it was true, ghosts came up and haunted places and put lights out. I thought I'd go now. I was thinking that when the light went out. I nearly fell down with fright. I knew it couldn't be ghosts. There couldn't be any ghosts. It was just that the bulb had gone. It had to be. In the pitch blackness, I could hear my teeth rattling. I was in such a panic I couldn't tell if it was the breeze plucking at my clothes or something else. I dropped the gun. I just hung onto the flashlight. I bent in a sort of crouch and gave it a threatening shake, and the batteries moved inside, and it came on again. The end had come loose. I tightened the end and thought I'd definitely go now. I'd done enough for one night. It was 2 o'clock, an hour since I'd left home. I could get back here any time. I didn't have to do it all at once. While I was thinking this, I was shuffling on. I thought I'd go a few more paces, then a few more after that. I got over my panic. I thought while I was here I'd see what was at the end of the tunnel. I got to a blank wall and poked the flashlight round, and found the tunnel went in a sharp bend and started round with it. I went round, then round again, descending all the time, and was suddenly dazzled by a blinding mass of silver. I'd come out of the cliff. I was below the bulge. The tunnel had cut right through it. I was perched on the west face, with a wrinkled sea miles below. There was a kind of zigzag outside the tunnel, a slit in the rock. It zigzagged down the cliff as far as I could see. It was the path. Well, I'd found it. I could go now. But I didn't go. I had a crazy idea. I thought I'd see where the path went. I couldn't escape it. I just had to do it. The path was in shadow, and I pointed the flashlight down, and the birds flew out. They flapped up one at a time like dusters. They did it slowly, as if they didn't want to do it at all. But they all did it, and in half a minute the zigzag right down to water level was alive with gulls. The big silver birds wheeled in the night, not crying out, just flapping their wings right above the sea. I could see the step in the cliff sticking out. It was so weird, it was like a dream. The trench was cut deep in the cliff, about 4 feet. It was a long, jagged tear, either a natural fault or a deliberate cut, or deliberately cut. Whether it was natural or not, someone had made steps in it. The first couple I could see quite clearly, although they were covered with crumbled rocks from the cliff. The rest were so badly deteriorated, they were just a bumpy downhill path. Storms or birds or the constant shower of debris from above had almost leveled out the steps. I started slowly down them. The surface was so crumbly I couldn't step at all. I crammed the flashlight in my jeans and went on my behind. It took me half an hour, with rests in between. On the last leg of the zigzag, the steps appeared again, as if the sea sometimes washed up. I got on my feet and walked to the bottom and hung on to the cliff there. The sea was winking and slapping just below. I can't explain now what I did. I knew it would be a hard job scrambling back up the cliff. I knew it would take time. I can't explain it, but in dreams you do things without explanation. And it's like a dream to me. Even now, after everything, a fantastic dream. I jumped anyway. And that is the end of part 5.